Hi dear Odooers. As you may know, an efficient supply chain is vital for good inventory management. At Stealthy Wood, our supply chain rules determine when products should be fabricated, delivered to distribution centers, and made available in the retail channel. To handle this, we rely on pull and push rules. With the first, actual customer demand drives the process, while the second is driven by long-term projections of customer demand. In more detail, we can say that a procurement inventory control system begins with a customer's order. Then, with a pull strategy, Stealthy Wood would only make enough products to fulfill our customers' orders. Even if this strategy could lead to ordering dilemmas, it helps avoid extra costs related to storing goods. And if demand for a particular item grows or decreases, it's easy to adapt, which tends to keep customers happy and prevent the need to have excessive items. For a push system of inventory control, it's the opposite. It involves forecasting inventory needs to meet customers' demands. In other words, this strategy implies predicting which products and what quantity should be purchased. Even if inaccurate demand projections can lead to cost increases due to storing unsold products, we would always be sure to have enough inventory to complete orders. Also, it helps reduce shipping costs because we will place larger orders less frequently. Depending on your business, one might fit better than the other, but it's up to each company to find out which one is best. So let's have a look at both of these strategies together. All right, here I am on my database, specifically looking at the inventory application. So the push and pull rules are part of our routes. And because of this, we're first going to need to go to configuration, settings, and we're going to activate the multi-step routes option. And we're going to find that nearly at the very bottom of the page, right here underneath the warehouse section. And as you can see, I've actually already activated this. Okay, so since it's activated, we're going to go to configuration and then warehouses. All right, so here I will have all of my warehouses. As you can see, I only have one, but if you do use our multi-warehouse option, you will see all of your warehouses on this list. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select my warehouse, and I'm going to click on edit. And I'm actually going to change my method for incoming and outgoing shipments. So I'm going to change this to 3 steps. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and save this. So I need a route that actually uses several rules, and here it will automatically generate 2, and the rules are defined on the routes themselves. So we can access the routes for this specific warehouse by clicking on the button here, or I can go to configuration routes. All right, so let's go ahead and select one of our routes. I'm going to choose receive in 3 steps. Okay, and then I'll click on edit. Now we have some basic things that we talk about in another video, such as naming the route. You can choose your company if you're in a multi-company environment. Also, you can also select the places where this route can be selected. But now I'm going to focus more on this rules section. Okay, so in the rules section, I can choose or create the rules that I need, okay? The rules that I need to apply to my routes. And here I'm not going to create any because as you can see, I already have 2. But to create one, I simply have to click on add a line. Now I'm going to do this to explain the different actions that we have. So first of all, we can add a name for our rule. And then we're going to have some different actions as I just said. So let's go ahead and select pull from. So this rule will be triggered by a need for the product in a specific stock location. All right, so the need can come from a sales order, which has been validated, or for a manufacturing order, which requires a specific component, for example. When the need appears in the destination location, Odoo generates a transfer to fulfill this need. For example, it's used when people work with a make-to-order strategy. You're also going to have a nice little definition on the right as well. Okay, so that's our pull from. Then we're going to select push to, and you're going to notice that the fields that are needed for each actions will change based on the action you select, and that's normal. But I thought I would just point that out. Okay, so now we're going to talk about push to. So this rule will be triggered by the arrival of some products in the defined source location. So in case you move products to the source location, Odoo generates a picking to move those products to the destination location. So this is often used for internal transfers. Then we're going to talk about our pull and push action. This allows us to generate a picking in 2 different situations. In actually the 2 different situations explained before. When products are required in a specific source location, as well as when they are pushed to a specific source location. For example, we can use this rule for multi-step deliveries, which is what I have set for my warehouse. So I'm going to change my incoming, or I changed my incoming and my outgoing shipments to 3 steps, as we saw before. All right, but since I did that, let's go ahead and actually open one to see what it looks like. Okay, so first of all, as I said, I have this really nice description of what I'm doing with this rule on the right, which is just a really great resource to use just to avoid any confusion. Now here you see my action as pull and push. I have my operation type, source location, destination location, and my automatic move. Here I have manual operation. Now the operation type here is internal transfer because the product moves from one location to another inside my inventory. All right, and now I'm going to look at my supply method. So we have a few options here. The first one is take from stock. If I select this, the products will be taken from the available stock of the source location. Okay, and then I have another option, which is what I have selected on this rule, which is trigger another rule. Now this means that the system will try to find a stock rule to bring the products in the source location, and the available stock will be ignored. All right, then we have take from stock. If unavailable, trigger another rule. Okay, so this means that the products will be taken from the available stock of the source location if there is enough. Okay. Now, if not, the system will try to find a rule to bring the products in the source location. Okay. Now, something cool I'm also going to point out here, if I change one of these options, so for example, I have internal transfer here, transfers here. If I select receipts, we're going to see that our little guide on the right changes. I just find that feature really cool, so I wanted to highlight that. Let's go back to internal transfers though. So in my case, the product will be taken from the input location and moved to the quality control location via an internal transfer. Then with the next rule, the product will be moved from the quality control location to the stock if it passes the quality test. And all of this is automated by the database. Let's go ahead and save that. Okay, I have my tool rules here, stock, quality control. All right, now regarding Stealthy Wood's manufacturing process, using the pool strategy would be the most efficient. All right, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.